Good morning. How is everybody feeling this Monday morning? Clearly I'm losing my voice already. Now I'm just going to share this to a couple of places before I jump into the meat of this. So if you're joining me, say hi. And share it in one more place. Hey, let me know who is with me and who's joining me live. So, I wanted to go live this morning. As most of you probably, hopefully know, it is Mental Health Awareness Week, and this week we are all about kindness. That is the theme for this week, for Mental Health Awareness Week, and it's kind of interesting that this has come up because it's been a discussion that's been happening a lot this year, right? A few months ago, Be Kind Always was the hashtag that was doing the rounds, and then that very quickly disappeared, and our lives have been quite different. So I wanted to take just a moment to ask you what being kind to yourself would actually look like. It's a really interesting question, but it's also one of those questions that, truth be told, 5 years ago, I would have just rolled my eyes and thought, who has time for that? I was completely focused on, hitting my targets and getting my bonus and getting my pay rise and my promotion and making sure that my emails were under 150 in my inbox at the end of most days, which if they were, that was an amazing achievement. And making sure that I was, hitting all the targets and doing all the dances and doing all the extracurriculars in order to make sure that I was promotable and likable. It's something that I talk about a lot when it comes to perfectionism and imposter syndrome, but there's this very manipulative thing that we do where we feel that in order to be good enough, we have to go above and beyond. And what we try to do is basically love bomb people, whether that's in a personal capacity or in a professional capacity, going above and beyond, doing far more than anybody else, just outperforming everybody, so that we think if we're that far ahead, it'll be okay when they find out we're not good enough. So the idea of being kind to other people, I was always there. I would make people coffee, I would bring in cakes, I would be the one that would take people out for lunch when they'd had a bad day and let them talk about it. But I didn't really know how to be kind to myself. And when I say this is not something that is going to be very fluffy and woo-woo and hand-holding. I'm just talking about basic, very basic, basically not being a bitch to yourself, not being a complete ass all of the time to yourself. Because almost all of you, if I picked out the way that you spoke to yourself, the way that you put yourself down, the epic amount that you require yourself to do in order to be good enough, and applied that to anybody else in your life, you'd be horrified, you'd be a bully. But for some reason, and part of this is external and part of this is internal, part of this is the pressure that is applied to us, particularly anybody who's in a professional capacity, the need to have everything all at once, but also the internal issue. As I said before, imposter syndrome means that we're constantly going above and beyond to try and prove that we are in fact good enough. If you were to behave towards anybody else in your life the way that you behave towards yourself, they would not be in your life. So I'm going to leave you with just one tiny test today, and I'm going to keep these ones short this week because there is a lot of discussion around Mental Health Awareness Week. Mine is far from the only voice, and there is a lot of talk, but there's also a lot of noise. And one of the things that I'm very keen on doing is making sure that you have things that you can take away, to mull over, to immediately implement, that will make an immediate change to the way that you live, the way that you work, and the way that you feel about yourself as a result. So the one thing that I want you to think about today is just to pay attention to your internal monologue. We all have them. You're not crazy if you hear voices in your head. we all have these, oh, I can't believe I did that, or I need to get this done, internal monologue that goes the whole time. And I want you just to pay attention to yours today. How often do you say to yourself, oh, I'm so stupid, I should have realised, why didn't I do that before, I'm such an idiot? And conversation along those lines. How often does your internal monologue sound more like a berating bad aunt than somebody who is kind or who loves the person they're speaking to? This is a version of a test that I give in a lot of my trainings where we're talking about mindset, because the way that we talk to ourselves is inherently different to the way that we talk to and about other people. And by drawing that comparison, we can often make a change. So in a lot of my trainings, I will talk about the little sister test. Are you talking to or about yourself in a way that if somebody said it about your little sister or somebody that you love and care for dearly, that you'd fight them? And if so, why are you saying it to yourself? So that's the first test. That's the first thing that I want you to do. And that's all I'm going to say today, is literally pay attention to your internal monologue and just make a little mental note, or even get a notebook out and note down every time you say, I'm so stupid, I'm not good enough, I can't believe I didn't do that, I should have guessed. You don't need to analyse it. You don't need to go beyond that. It's absolutely true. We are far harsher to ourselves than we are to others. Mainly because if we were as harsh to other people as we are to ourselves, we'd probably get punched in the face a lot more. But, you know, there's no one monitoring what we're saying to ourselves. So that's what we're going to do, is start monitoring. And that's all I'm going to ask you to do today. Every day this week for Mental Health Awareness Week, I'm going to be going live here on the page. So make sure that you have liked the page, make sure that you've got notifications to see first. And I'm going to be also sharing this over to Instagram, IGTV, and to LinkedIn. So if you are watching it on either of those platforms, if you want to see it first, go to facebook.com/Serenity Search. All this week, I'm going to be just sharing very quick tools and tips to help you figure out this whole kindness thing. Because guess what? If you're a little bit kinder to yourself, probably wouldn't burn out to begin with. There's an idea, right? So I will leave that there. If you want to know more about how I can give you more help and support, or how I can help and support your teams in a wider capacity, then go to searchingforserenity.co.uk. Later today, I'm going to be releasing the latest workshop in the Grit and Resilience bundle, which is a workshop that you can either buy as part of the whole bundle of 13 trainings, or you can buy as a standalone workshop if it appeals to you. And it's going to be called, for Mental Health Awareness Week, Be Kind. And we're focusing on perfectionism and why kindness is an antidote to perfectionism. So it's going to be a really interesting workshop on Thursday night. I will be releasing the details later today, and I will come back here and share them once they are live. So if you want to know more about that, make sure that you've liked this video or commented below, and I'll get those details to you as well. But that's it. I want to keep it really short and simple today, as far as I ever can anyway. So I hope wherever you are, you're having an amazing day, and please make sure to take care of yourself. Bye for now.